Okay, so I got a check engine light on, and if I check the code, again, P0456. No other codes. Now P0456, I've seen that a number of times before. It's called a small evap leak. An evap system is just basically the closed system that captures the vapors from your gas tank, and so when you turn on the engine, those vapors will get sucked up and burned with the with everything else. It's part of the emissions system. You won't notice anything changing as far as the performance of your vehicle, but it will not pass inspection with that check engine light on. And of course, the light came on same month that my inspection is due. First thing I checked was the gas cap. Sometimes that's the cause of it. Your gas cap is failing. I had another one on hand, so I swapped them out, and the check engine light didn't go away. Another thing I've noticed about this code is it's slow to trigger the check engine light, it seems, and it's slow to go away once you correct the problem. It's just, this is a real nuisance one. So let me go through and show you where all you want to check. If you look under the hood, you will find a diagram, and that will show you your whole vacuum system and all these black lines. Those are the hoses that you all want to check, except for the one going to the brake booster. That's not part of it. But this purge solenoid that's tucked away down, let's see if I get it on the camera, right there. That's the purge solenoid down there. This other stuff is sitting under the car. This other stuff here is sitting under the car. We'll go over that part first. Okay, now under the driver's side of the car, you're going to find your vapor canister here, and there's all different hoses going into it. You've got to check everything. Even going back to the gas tank. They just seem to go everywhere. You got to go through and inspect them, especially paying attention to any rubber hoses like these here, this one here. These are usually held on with white plastic clamps that dry rot away. In fact, I've never seen one intact. They always have fallen apart. You noticed I replaced mine with zip ties. Oddly, I've never had a leak from these, even with the clamps all busted up. But if you follow these hoses around, I can't get a good look at it here, but in front, down behind here, there in front of this vapor canister, there is the sensor unit for the actual pressure. That's guessing that's what's actually throwing the error to the computer. But you want to check the hoses going to there. And okay, now we're back up top side in the engine compartment, and what you're going to do is you're going to remove the cover to your air cleaner and take off this transfer tube. There is a sensor in the back there. You got to undo the lock and then push down the clip to unplug it. Unplug that so you don't break the wires, and just remove that out of your way altogether. Okay, now with the lid off the air filter housing, you're going to remove this 10mm bolt. Now keep in mind why this hole is here. They put this hole here so that when you undo this bolt, that bolt's going to drop right down that hole. Then you got to take off your headlight to fish it back out again. Just keep a good grip on that bolt when you undo it so you don't have to do extra work. Okay, the bolt's removed. The only thing at this point holding this housing on is there's a stud there with a rubber grommet that it grips, and there's another one down underneath here on that side, but this will just give it a wiggle and pull it up and out, and it'll come out of there for you. Okay, so now let's get a better look at the purge valve, which is right there. There's a wire harness that controls it, and there's a hose going in and a hose going out, and they have like a rubber fitting there that hooks the hoses to the valve. Check those for any cracking any damage. One time I had a deer hit, and as it turned out, after the car was all fixed, they didn't notice that the tube was cracked up here underneath this corrugated cover that's on protecting the tubes. So, you know, keep an eye out for something like that. These two tubes come along here, and one has an elbow which goes down, and there's a rubber coupling between this upper hose and the one that rigid plastic tube that goes down around, and either goes to the gas tank or you know, you can look it up on the diagram. And the other tube comes up around and goes in underneath the throttle body here. And if you'll notice, let's get a good shot of it there. It was cracking before, and I put a zip tie around it to try to tighten it up. I think I put some silicone on it also. Let me see if I get you a better shot. Okay, so let's have a look at this here. Got a lot of movement there, which could mean that it's not sealing up at all. And so I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to try to fix it, and hopefully that does the trick. I looked this part up, and Chrysler only sells, Dodge only sells, not that rubber little junction tube there, it sells only the whole harness assembly, which is ridiculous for a little 2-cent part that failed off of it. But let me see if I can hook something else up to it and get it fixed. Okay, so I have a hunk of fuel line from my snow thrower carburetor rebuild. Not quite the same size, but I can force it on. Keep in mind this old one is stretched out a little bit, but this one is really tough to get on. So the trick is wet it with some alcohol, and then you should be able to get this on there. And let me try to get that on there. I'll show you how it worked out. Okay, I got it on there. I didn't bother cutting it. I left it long because I was afraid that this tube would pinch if it bent too sharp. So I left it long and just had it loop all the way around here. And now I'm going to put everything back together. Don't forget to plug the sensor back on that crossover tube to your air cleaner. Your lower box, it will fit on that stud there, and then the nozzle, the air intake on the lower part of the box should just immediately seat right into there for you. Then you'll put that bolt onto there. Okay, everything's hooked back up again. Got my sensor hooked up. Don't forget to put your crankcase ventilation hose back onto the air cleaner. Okay, now if I'm real lucky, I'll turn on the engine, check engine light will come on, and then after a few seconds it'll shut off. If I'm unlucky, I'll have to drive it a few times before it finally clears the code. And if I'm really unlucky, then that wasn't the problem. Still there. Okay, so I never recorded an ending to this video last week, so I'm just going to do it now while I'm editing it. As the epilogue, in the end I decided to just take my OBD scanner and erase the error code rather than waiting for it to go away on its own. Like I'd mentioned, this type of error, I guess it sits there and watches and watches and watches to see if this small vacuum leak, in fact, comes back or not before it actually turns the check engine light off. I just didn't have patience for that. So I cleared it all out, and at that point you have to drive the vehicle for, it's like 100 miles or something, maybe 200 miles before it will get to the point where you can take your car in for inspection and pass the emissions test. And I did that, and I kept an eye on it with my scanner, and the error did not come back. So I'm assuming that that loose tube was the culprit. I had done that, and I had put a new gas cap on. But when I replaced the gas cap and I continued driving for 100 miles, the light still didn't go out. So it's gone now, the car's inspected, and should be good. So if you like this video, oh, and let me add that one spot I didn't cover, which I've never encountered the problem, those vacuum tubes do go over top of the gas tank. So it is possible to have a leak up there somewhere. Sadly, to find it, you have to take the gas tank down. And that is a nuisance. I do have gas pump replacement videos, and that shows you how to do that. It's not fun. So if you like this video, if you find it helpful, please like, share, subscribe. And if you have this error, good luck. It can be a challenge. It takes a lot of detective work, so good luck with finding the cause of your small vapor leak. See you next time.